Welcome to the Selling from the Heart podcast on the Salescast Network. You've joined a global movement of sales professionals who are dedicated to being authentic and building trust. We call it Selling from the Heart. Together, we are on a mission to bring sincerity and substance to the sales profession we all love. Get ready to be inspired and equipped as we join our hosts, Larry Levine and Darrell Amy.
Larry here. Before we dive into this episode, I want to share something with you that I'm really excited about. Are you ready to connect with your clients on a deeper level and truly make a difference in their lives? Then discover your authentic selling style with Selling from the Heart. At sellingfromtheheart.net/selling-style, you'll find a powerful online program that will help you tap into your unique strengths and abilities to create authentic and successful sales interactions. If you want to show up authentically for your prospects and clients to grow your sales, we created this just for you. So head on over to sellingfromtheheart.net/selling-style now and discover your authentic selling style today.
Welcome back to the Selling from the Heart podcast. Your co-host, Darrell Amy, here today with Larry Levine. What's going on, Larry?
First of all kinds of things. Great seeing you. We're in for a treat with our guest today at the Selling from the Heart podcast. Absolutely in for a treat.
It is going to be fantastic. I cannot wait for you to meet my friend Ancil Lea, and his conversation with us about relational selling is going to be incredible. Larry, the year's off to a great start. It's so fun seeing all of the excitement inside the Selling from the Heart community. And I'll tell you what gets me jazzed is seeing the reviews that are coming in on the Selling from the Heart podcast. It is so much fun to see the comments that you're sending back to us. It means the world. And I'm so grateful for this audience is growing all over the world.
That means they're listening to us. This is awesome. Well, go ahead and share, Darrell. Come on, lay it on us.
Well, this one was sweet. This one's from our good friend, Robin Treasure. And she said, every episode that I've listened to leaves me informed and inspired. I love the variety of guests and the positive and upbeat nature of the host. So there you go, Larry. Positive and upbeat. You heard it here first. But those are words. Thank you, Robin, for that review. And by the way, if you would be kind enough to leave us a review on the platform on which you listen to the podcast or in YouTube, we sure would appreciate it. It helps us spread the word. But when you think about upbeat and positive, these are two really good words that describe the community inside Selling from the Heart. And I'm so grateful for this movement of authenticity inside the sales profession.
No, it sure is. And I would just encourage all of us, as we think through this is when you think of upbeat, when you think of positive, think of community. And what better way to be part of a community? Come hang out with us, like-minded, like-hearted sales professionals and sales leaders. We work through issues. We have camaraderie. More importantly, everyone started to create accountability partners. And that's what it's all about, helping each other become even better than we are right now.
Sounds like you're talking about the Selling from the Heart.
There you go.
This is a group of like-hearted sales professionals. And if you want a community of people that share your values of authenticity and building trust, come hang out with the Insiders Group. In fact, you can get a free pass to our next Up Close and Personal, where we take some of our podcast guests, really just hang out with them. And these conversations take some amazing twists and turns, and always leave not only inspired but with some great action items. So if you go to sellingfromtheheart.net/free-pass, that's sellingfromtheheart.net/free-pass, you can come hang out with us in one of our future.
There you go.
Future Up Close and Personals. And we'll look forward to seeing you there. Well, speaking of up close and personal, I've got a good friend coming to the podcast today, and his name is Ancil Lea. You're going to love getting to know Ancil. He's worked in the healthcare software technology industry for over 29 years. He's one of the best sales professionals I've ever met. He's helped startup companies gain market share with his relationships and strategies. He's been just an incredible influence in the healthcare world in my part of the country. But the best part about Ancil is he loves coffee and working from a coffee shop, which is where I met him almost 15 years ago. Ancil's book, Common Grounds, is about his experiences, insights, and successes while working out of coffee shops and how anyone can do the same. But what I'm most excited about is his latest book, Common Grounds 2, The Art of Relational Selling. And while everybody talks about going big, Ancil believes the secret to success and personal fulfillment is to go small. Ancil, welcome to the Selling from the Heart podcast. It's great to have you here.
Oh, hey, Ancil.
Hey guys. Hey, thanks for having me on. I'm super excited and jazzed to be on this, on your podcast. This is really cool.
We're going to have a great conversation, and the work you've done in Common Grounds 2 is so relevant to our community. I know this is going to be fantastic. And I know as we get started, the answer to the question that you're about to give that every guest on the Selling from the Heart podcast answers is, Ancil, what does it mean to you to sell from the heart?
Wow. That's a great question, Darrell. I think that to me, that means to sell from the heart is to really care about the other, your client, is to care about their success, not my success, but their success. And if I can make them successful, I'll be successful. And so it's putting them first, not my product, not me, it's putting my client first and listening to what they need and addressing that with a good solution.
I love this because he used a word that's near and dear to us at Selling from the Heart, Ancil, and that's care. And we'll go a step farther and we just say it's just about giving a rip. And I just think that more and more and more people, if they can just, I'm gonna throw this word out. You just used listen. If we can start caring, and if we can start intentionally listening to our clients, truly listening, they give us the keys to the kingdom. Yeah, but quite often we go to that table, whether that be face to face or in a coffee shop or virtual, with an agenda already, and we listen just long enough to then respond. And it's hard to build relationships when you do that. That's the crux of your book. I love this, Darrell.
Well, matter of fact, I've gotten a lot of comments from the book, but that chapter that I've got on listening, I'll probably get more comments on. That early on in my career, I realized I was in a complex world. I was in the complex world of healthcare and technology. And I realized early, I didn't know a lot of the answers. I just didn't know. And I found myself, just keeping my mouth closed and just listening, and out of necessity, because I didn't know I just didn't know. But what that did for me is that it puts you in a position of really absorbing, what and feeling what's going on with your client, and not so much, hey, I've got this gizmo or piece of software that I want to demo to you. It's I've got to listen. And I, again, early on, I just didn't know squat about what I was doing. And I just really, I felt like if I was going to make it through this, I was just going to have to keep my mouth shut. and listen and address, just really out of necessity, address their request one by one. And, that just really blessed me.
I think that's so powerful. And the art of, so many sales professionals listening in, I know, are maybe you're new to the industry, or maybe your industry is changing rapidly. And when you talk about the intersection of two of the most complex industries out there, healthcare and technology, I've been in places where you just walk into a situation and you go, I don't know I don't know the answers to all these questions. I don't even know all the questions to ask in all of this. The art of really caring and listening, and I would layer in maybe another C word is just being curious, having some curiosity around that is tremendously powerful.
I totally agree. And going back to what Larry said in regards to caring, I think that when people find that you care about them, they will listen to you,
Mm-hmm.
and that and they'll give you a little bit of grace, when you don't know all the answers, and
Mm-hmm.
I just find that to be true. I can't tell you how many times over the course of my career. You said 29. It has now been 35 years that I've been doing this. And a lot of the people I work with now are not even 35 years old. So,
yeah, Larry gets that all the time.
Oh, yeah. Stop.
Hey, listen, my coach, one of my coaches is not 35 years old.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that. And, but, over the course of these years, I just know that caring, that has, that's what it's all about in the end for me. And that's one of the things I talk about in my community. That really putting others first, blesses you. And, and I really, I can't tell you, and I can go on, and in regards to that. So yeah.
Here's, I got to throw, hey, Ancil. So Darrell's got this alliteration sickness that kind of just wore off on me over time. And it's a great gift. Right. But y'all are dropping C words, and you're dropping curiosity, and you started off with care. Well, I'm going to throw one more out there as we really kick off and get into your book, Relational Selling, is comfort. And I bring this up because when you bring curiosity to the forefront, when you show that you care, there's a level of comfort that starts to happen. And when that level of comfort starts to happen, I firmly believe that's when people start opening up. And I often refer to these as business secrets. When you bring curiosity, when you bring care, and you bring comfort to the forefront, just watch what starts to happen to the amounts of information you start to learn. And when you learn that information, you can turn that into business betterment for your clients and your future clients.
Yeah. Well, that truly your client gets real with you, when they can be comfortable to know that they can trust you, and that when they have that comfort, it's magic. It's just the coolest thing. But let me just add another. I don't know if I can put another C in there. But
we'll try. We'll
figure it out.
I'm not really good at that. But being authentic, I think that's key. That you come at being caring, and from a position of being authentic, and I think that's big.
Well, that is definitely one of our favorite words around here. Is we're leading this movement of authenticity inside the sales profession. And actually, this is a great time to take a moment and listen to what one of our community members said about what it means to him to sell from the heart. As you know, we've got a new podcast format. And every week, we've got different people submitting videos, short videos about what does it mean to you to sell from the heart. In fact, if you'd like to submit one of those videos, just put that iPhone in front of your face, hit record, and send it to myself or Larry by email or in our Facebook. Either way, or LinkedIn, just get the video to us, and we would love to feature you on an upcoming episode. But this week, we're going to hear from our good friend, Bruce Kirk. We call him the captain around here. And Bruce is going to share with us what it means to him to sell from the heart after a brief message from our sponsors. Hey, are you ready to take your sales to the next level? At Selling from the Heart, we believe that authenticity wins. And that's why we created the all-new program, Discover Your Authentic Selling Style. This is a powerful program that will help you tap into your unique strengths and abilities to create authentic and successful sales interactions. If you believe in selling from the heart and want to grow your sales, we created this course just for you. So head over to sellingfromtheheart.net/selling-style and discover your authentic selling style today.
Bruce Kirk here, Captain Kirk. So 2023 is my third year experiencing the Authentic Selling Challenge. And Larry and Darrell, wow, they keep getting better and better. So you've set a new bar, a new standard for 2024, and I certainly look forward to that. It's been said that the greatest distance a person must travel in their life is the 18 inches between their head and their heart. And to me, that defines selling from the heart, in that we need to first know and understand our own heart and nurture that heart. So frankly, it's worthy of being revealed. And that means investing in serving others rather than just ourselves. It means interacting with people from the heart and not just from a script. It means speaking into the lives of our prospects and our colleagues so that they are better off having known us. It's about being grateful for conversations and relationships, even if the outcome of those may not be directly benefiting us. It's about having a true north, having moral boundaries, ethical boundaries that we simply do not cross, even if that means walking away from a deal or losing a deal. I believe selling from the heart is the way sales should be done. It's the way that sales need to be done. And certainly it's the way sales can be done. So in 2023, I encourage everyone to just get after it and let's sell from the heart.
Oh yeah, I love Captain.
Shout out to the Captain. That's a great summary of selling from the heart right there.
That was powerful. Very powerful.
Well, this is a great conversation. We got all these C words floating around. We've talked about caring. We've talked about comfort. We talked about, what's the other one? Curiosity. But there's the ultimate C word, which I know we all hold near and dear, and that is coffee. Coffee. And Ancil, you're welcome. You're welcome. Just so everybody knows, about, as we're best we can tell, somewhere between 12 and 15 years ago, Ancil and I kept rubbing shoulders at a local coffee shop, literally rubbing shoulders, because we'd both go there in the morning to do our creative work. And I kept looking up, and there's Ancil sitting across the way or next to me. And so over time, we struck up a friendship and just began talking. And I watched over the years, Ancil, as we have rotated between various coffee shops in the town in which we live, and enjoyed many, many cups of coffee across the room from each other or across the table. What I've noticed about you is you are a master networker of people. You are just so gifted at building relationships and making people feel comfortable and like they belong and fit in. And so you ended up taking this and putting it in several different books. The books are titled Common Grounds. Give us the backstory on these books, because I think what you've put together is pure brilliance, and the Selling from the Heart community is absolutely going to love these books.
Well, man, we did, spend many years in multiple coffee shops, Common Grounds is just about. What I find is that it's just out of necessity, whether I am, I'm doing business or I'm working, trying to, work on just, sit there and work on emails and work on proposals and whatnot, that really the coffee shop is the place for me to do that. It allows me with this, we talk about, and I've looked at some studies in regards to ambient noise. Just ambient noise, it helps me focus.
Me too.
Now having a cup of great coffee in my hand, it also helps me focus. But one of the things that a coffee shop does, and especially working with a prospect or a client, or just having a cup of coffee with my friends, that we're all. We become, you get there on really neutral ground, and that you're not sitting behind somebody's CEO's desk. You're not talking to a CEO behind their desk. We're sitting there on neutral ground, having a cup of coffee, which of course, we're on common ground, you know,
Mm-hmm.
that it's just a great, joiner of people, and it just allows you to, I don't say let your guard down, but I mean, you just become, just really two people or maybe multiple people, just having a honest, frank conversation. And I think it just builds, it builds that relationship, you know. I, I've seen, of course, I've had a lot of lunches, through the years and done a lot of business over lunch. I don't, for, to me, having a sitting down and having a cup of coffee with someone is really the pinnacle of building a relationship. Because taking the food aside and me trying to cut my food and eat a chicken or and not spill it on me and all that stuff. Not that I don't spill coffee, but it's just very warm.
Mm-hmm.
It's just very inviting, and it's just a great environment to foster relationships and to build relationships, and your business.
I love it.
I just absolutely enjoy hearing this because I have my favorite coffee shop. Well, I've been frequenting that coffee shop for 15, 16, 17 years now. And what's really interesting is the amounts of friendships, relationships, and conversations that have occurred in that coffee shop over the decade. I mean, I literally could probably write a book about it. But
Ancil did.
Ancil did. He wrote a couple of them. But I do have a question for you because
Sure.
I know there's some listeners in that are going to go, hey, I get what you're cooking here, Lancel, or I get what you're brewing. But how do you get people to meet you at a coffee shop that are busy, that are decision makers, that might be influencers? What's some of the secret sauce, if you can share just a couple things with us, that gets people to feel comfortable enough with Ancil? They go, you know what? I'm going to meet this guy at insert name of coffee shop for 15, 20 minutes. I'm going to enjoy a cup of coffee. I'm going to enjoy some camaraderie. Walk us through this. I find they love to escape.
Mm-hmm.
They love to escape, their office to come to meet me at a coffee shop. And I was talking to a CEO the other day, and he said, this guy, he and I, we're the same age, and he's a great client of mine, and he said, my mentor taught me to do this, taught me to escape and find a coffee shop. And and I thought that was brilliant. And he's the CEO of a very, very large specialty clinic and surgery center. And he said, so what you're doing, he said, is something my mentor taught me how to do. And so when I go to meet a CEO, matter of fact, I'll just say, let's go have coffee. And they say, oh man, let's do it. It's one of the things that they like, many times, CEO, we can do this early in the morning. They can do this on their way in and have a cup of coffee. Or, maybe they want to escape after lunch, and just go, us get away. They don't have all their staff, I mean, that's not to say their phone's not blowing up, but we can have a pretty good, quiet, focused conversation.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just kind of like an island, of that you can get away on and have a conversation and get to know somebody.
I love it. I love it. This is so powerful. This concept of common ground, this neutral territory, and going to have a cup of coffee is super friendly. And for our listeners in the UK, you can have tea. It works just the same. Although, Larry and I really do like coffee. We'll have, you can have tea. We'll have coffee. All of it is great. Everybody hangs out. It's warm. It's inviting. The environment inside a coffee shop, there's a little bit of a buzz going on inside most coffee shops. And it's just really, really powerful. I think you're spot on. And this is also, for salespeople that are looking for a way to invite somebody to an appointment, this is a way to do it in an extremely informal manner. And I think there's a lot to be said for, who are you going to have coffee with today? And if you're like Larry and me, you're going to have coffee with three different people, because you need 2 or 3 cups to keep this level of energy going. There was a lull there where everyone realized that moment of how much coffee we're actually drinking. That's a separate podcast. We're not going to talk about that today.
Yeah. So yeah, no, it really is. It's just the environment is. I think it. Well, and I mean this from a really great stand, from a good standpoint. I think it's very disarming. I think it's very that we can just really be ourselves there, and it's not a lunch. It's not some big lunch. And hey, everybody wants to go have a cup of coffee. And, and so I find that it's, everyone's very open to doing that. It's just, it's easy. It's easy.
Easy is good. Easy is good.
What's interesting, Ancil, and Darrell and I have used this term many, many, many times, especially in the world that we live in today, just based on the set of circumstances over the last couple of years, is, hey, Ancil, I'd love to get to know you a little bit more. How about you join me for a virtual cup of coffee? And you will be surprised at the answers that you get back. Of course, I'd love to, right? Things like that. I'll bring my favorite cup of coffee. You bring your favorite cup of coffee. If not, bring your favorite cup of tea or iced tea. It doesn't really matter. But I love this because you're right. It is so disarming, and it sets that common ground.
I love it. Yeah. Well, your second book, Ancil, I want to get to, because the topic for this book, the subtitle of The Art of Relational Selling, right up our alley. You talk in this book about the difference between everybody who wants to go big or go home, versus the secret to success, which is start small. What does it mean to you to start small?
Starting small is, everyone wants to do something big. But how do you get there? You really get there by making one small step. It's just taking action, doing something. Everyone wants to do something. In my book, I talk about what it was to get involved with actually sponsoring and being part of supporting a children's home. And I learned early on when I got to know this children's home when I was in college. I was asked to drive a bus it's a story inside the book, that I asked to drive a bus full of about 15, college students to a children's home for us to sing to them. And I went in there. I just drove. I was a little bit older, by the way. I spent a little extra time. I was, and so they said, "Hey, can you drive the bus?" And so it was like over the river and through the woods, about 2 hours to the children's home. And so we go, and and we do what they call Vespers, which we sing, and we have dinner with these children, and then what just knocked me out was that afterwards we went to their cottage and got to play with them, and it just I just can't even begin to tell you what that did, and getting to know these children and their hearts and where they wanted to be. And I was so smitten by that when I graduated, I started doing something small. I thought, what can I do for this children's home? Well, they had a thing where I could just give a little bit of money, sponsor a child. So I just started doing one thing. And I don't know if you guys know the story, but that I did the one thing, and then over the period of years, my wife and I, we started sponsoring multiple children. They would grow up and leave. Then they sign us a new one. Well, I got put on another board here later. Fast forward multiple years, I got put on another board, and they said, "Hey, would you want to?" They explained this program called Extended Families, where we could have a child in our house one weekend a month. And I thought, well, that's something small we can do. All of our kids are out of the house. They're grown. They've graduated from college. They're professionals making money. And so we said, hey, we'll open our home for one weekend a month just to let some child, come in, play with our dogs, eat pizza, all that kind of jazz. And we started doing that. I've got approved to do that. And very long story short, we ended up adopting this little girl that we came to know when she was 9 years old. And next month, she will be 18 years old. Mm. And she will graduate this semester. And it's just kind of, when you do something small, when you start, you never know where it will go. Mm-hmm. And but my deal is to start, do something small. And we never had plans to adopt. That was not our deal. We have 5 children, 5 children ourselves. And, but we were called to do this. And, but it all started with doing something small. And, you don't have to do something big, and we can dive off. I spent an hour talking about this, but I'm just saying that whether it's, sponsoring a child or investing in your network, on your LinkedIn network, that do something small and watch it grow.
Oh, Ancil, first of all, hats off. I mean, I'm just blessed to get to know you through Darrell, and it's just the power of networks. But let's just all stop and just think about what Ancil just said. Unfortunately, we live in this world where it's big, grandiose, and everybody wants to outdo everybody and so forth. But it's that old saying, nothing happens until you put one foot in front of the other and take one little step. And, what would it mean if we just took one little step every single day? Those are 365 little steps every single year. That's monumental growth. You can have so much impact, not only on yourself, on your career, out in the community, in the lives of other people. This is powerful stuff. I'm so thankful to get to know you.
Mm-hmm. And I know our community is as well. And so this has been so amazingly good. And I know everyone's going to want to get their hands on Common Grounds 1 and Common Grounds 2, The Art of Relational Selling. How can people grab those books and get more Ancil Lea in their lives?
Well, it's on Amazon. So you can go to Amazon and just type in Common Grounds Ancil Lea and go straight to the books. That's the best way that I can tell you to get there. And you can also find me on, if you have problems finding that, but you can hunt me down on LinkedIn. That's where I hang out.
Awesome.
Majority of the time.
Well, we'll put links to all of that in the show notes. Ancil, you are a true kindred spirit. I'm so glad that you've shared time and we got to introduce you to the Selling from the Heart community. This has been amazing.
Well, hey, listen, guys, thanks for having me on here and wonderful work you guys are doing, and bless you guys.
Awesome.
So good. Awesome. Hey, by the way, before you split, Ancil, the next time I go to see Darrell,
we're having coffee.
That's right. All 3 of us are having coffee, Ancil.
Look for it in the Selling from the Heart Instagram. Hey, Ancil, thank you so much. This has been a true pleasure.
Oh, well, really, the pleasure is mine. Thank you for having me on here, Darrell. Larry.
Awesome.
All right,
awesome.
Take care.
Wow, Larry, I told everybody this was going to be good. Start small. I love this concept of starting small, Larry. It reminds me of a quote I just read today from my favorite rock star, Bono. He said, how casually our destiny arrives. Sometimes it's the most small and insignificant things that we do. We'll look back years later and realize that small step we took led to something really, really big. So I think the application for this conversation is really simply, what small thing can you do right now?
Yep.
And and let's do it. Let's work on our network. Let's build relationships. Let's say yes. Let's lend a hand. Let's help. Let's reach out across the coffee shop. Let's buy a cup of coffee for somebody.
Hey, Ancil, you're gonna love this, but it was just recently. I was doing a sales kickoff and I was doing a couple workshops for just a company that just wears their heart on their sleeves. Mm-hmm. Well, it was interesting is after one of my workshops, one of their VPs came up and said, I think we live in the same town, because I made reference to it. So long story short, I said, absolutely. I know we do live in the same town. Where do you live? And small talk and so forth. I said, why do we do this? Why don't we go meet for coffee?
Boom. There you go. Look at that.
Instantaneously. He says, putting it in yes. Action. Right?
It's great. I think it's powerful.
But I think powerful. It's so powerful. And some people go, this is so simple, right? And I go, it is. It's simple stuff. Yet it's so difficult to really implement. It does work. Tip of the cap to Ancil. That was great.
Yeah, fantastic. By the way, if you want to have a digital cup of coffee with some friends, come hang out with us in the Insiders group. Get your free pass at sellingfromtheheart.net/free-pass. Come to the next Up Close and Personal. When you go to that landing page, you'll see some of the people that are going to be joining us, and you can come give this a bit of a test drive. And I guarantee you're going to want to be a part of this authentic community of incredible sales professionals. And we're looking forward to hanging out. And if you'll stay tuned, we got some exciting announcements coming up on opportunities to be able to hang out and meet face to face. Can't wait to share those with you. But until next time, keep being genuine, keep being authentic, keep building trust, and most of all, sell from the heart.